Howdy, Connor.
Howdy, how are you?
Good. So great completion percentage the other day, only 4 that didn't result in completions. Did you feel like you were just in the zone? Have you ever felt like that in a game before?
Yeah, a couple times. I feel like we had a pretty good game plan going in. I mean, I was pretty mad about that first play. I feel like I should have hit it nice down the sideline. But other than that, yeah, I felt good just getting the ball out of my hands quick and just giving it to my playmakers.
We'll go back behind the lights to TV Row to Ben and then Tyler.
Connor, with some of the receivers in and out of the lineup just dealing with some injuries, it seems like you've been able to stay on a pretty good page and just build up chemistry with a lot of guys moving in and out of the lineup. How have you tried to kind of do that as best you can through practices?
I feel like they stepped up very well. I mean, we didn't miss a beat out there, and I feel like that just stems from all spring and all summer. I mean, everyone got a lot of reps in spring, summer, fall camp, and just the accumulation of that over time. I mean, everyone was ready to go when their time was called.
And then I know you ran in one this past week. It seemed like you seem more comfortable running, whether it's by design or not this year, but also seems from my perspective in terms of maximizing the yardage you're getting on these runs while also just minimizing the toll you're taking physically. Do you feel like you have a better feel for how to do that?
I mean, for sure. I mean, it just comes within the game. I mean, I don't plan on, I got to run on this play. I mean, if it happens, it happens. And I just try and go out there and get as many yards as I can get from my team and go out and play the next play.
We'll stay on TV Row in the middle to Tyler.
Yeah, Connor, I know you talked, before the season about differences between last year and this year, night and day, just kind of on your readiness and preparation and maturity in the game. I guess, do you feel like the way this offense is, that you guys are capable of winning games, if you guys are giving up points, but you guys can outscore your opponent that way?
I mean, for sure. I mean, that's what Coach Petrino and we try and preach to everyone, to every guy on the team. Like, every time we touch the ball, we want to score. And I feel like that message has gone across well. I mean, you got to lock in every drive, every play, and I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job of that.
And then I guess, you got a little bit taste of it last year, but just how much more excited are you to now start SEC play this week and, with the fresh slate?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, it's an exciting time for everybody. Everyone knows what our schedule looks like coming up, and, I mean, everyone's ready. We're prepared for it and ready to get going at practice today.
We'll stay in the back of the room just in front of TV Row to Chip.
How much do you expect the intensity level to go up this week in practice?
I mean, I feel like the intensity has always been there at practice. It doesn't change week by week. I mean, it doesn't matter what opponent we're playing. Like Coach Fisher always says, our opponent is faceless. We got to go out there and play our brand of football, and I feel like everyone knows that and everyone's prepared to go do that.
Let me ask it this way. What do you think the difference, having played in a couple of conference games last year versus non-conference, just in terms of competition, in terms of what's at stake?
I mean, the stakes are for sure higher. We try and go out and win every SEC game. I mean, every game in general. I mean, but I don't think it changes much. Like I said, everyone has a pretty good mind frame on what we're about to go and do, and I feel like everyone's ready to go do it.
We'll go third row on the left side to Carter and then Travis.
Connor, we've kind of seen this on the pulse, and some of your teammates have described it too, about how when you're on the sideline, you're really trying to fire up some guys. Even at the end of the last game, when it's a blowout, you're still trying to kind of, hey, let's finish strong kind of thing. Where does that kind of come from, and where does that kind of competitive energy come from for you?
I don't know. I feel like it's always been there with whatever sport I'm playing, football, baseball, basketball, growing up. But like Coach Fisher always preaches, we got to play well all 4 quarters, and just because we're winning the game, we can't let up. We got to go out and execute the game plan, what Coach Petrino's calling, and I just try to get that across to everyone.
And then talking about Miami real quick, since this is the first time we've talked to you since, what were they doing to kind of cause problems pressure-wise? And as far as like sliding protections and things like that, how did you feel like you learned from that experience and kind of improved in that regard in the next game?
I mean, I didn't think they were doing anything crazy. I mean, we got to be better. Like I said, I feel like it wasn't very bad, but there was a couple little things in there that personally I could have done better and everyone across the board. But other than that, I feel like it wasn't nothing crazy that they were doing to confuse us or anything.
We'll go front row on the right side to Travis and then Brent.
I know it wasn't too long ago that you were in high school. What's the difference in in the progression of reading defenses in high school, and how does that compare to when you get to the next level? What are some of the challenges and things that don't necessarily compare to doing it in the two levels?
I mean, I don't know, everything's bigger. Everyone's bigger, faster, stronger. But other than that, like, everyone asks me that a lot. And I mean, it's still the same game. It's still football. It's still 11 on 11. So, I mean, other than that, you just got to be able to process things a little bit faster.
Do you feel like you're making progress? You're where you want to be as far as getting the mental side and the read side of everything?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I try and work on that part of the game every day. Try and learn something new every day, just from Coach Fisher, Coach Petrino, and I feel like they've been helping me out a lot.
And then you have multiple arm slots that you can kind of throw out of. How has that been something that you've always had? When did that kind of develop, and how important is that to your game, especially when you got guys coming at you?
I don't know. It probably comes from the baseball side of things, but I try and keep my mechanics pretty much the same. I mean, unless I have to change them. But other than that, I try and keep it pretty much over the top. But I don't know. Coach Fisher, he doesn't like when I get down there sometimes, just because I don't have to. But like I said, I just got to be good with my feet, good with my eyes, and it'll be all right.
We'll stay on that front row, right side to Brent.
I want to ask you a little bit about your background. Were you born and raised in Houston, in
Yes,
that
sir.
area, on the northwest side?
Yes,
or
sir.
what?
Cypress. Yes, sir.
Cypress area. Okay. And so, when you're a little kid, when did you first play organized football? I know you, like you said, you played all the sports, but when did you realize, hey, man, this might be something I do for a long time?
I don't know. I started playing football when I was 5, so it was pretty early. But I was a running back when I was a kid, so I was just out there having fun. I didn't start playing quarterback till probably 7th, 8th grade.
And what made you switch over to or coaches say, hey, kid, you need to be a quarterback? How did that play out?
I don't know. I had a pretty good arm, and I don't know. They were letting me run the ball, play running back as a quarterback, so I was happy with that. And then I just worked on it really hard and I was able to throw the ball.
So what league was it? Was that in junior high football, or was that a certain league down there in Northwest Houston?
No, that was in junior high, yes, sir.
Okay, what junior high was it? I'm sorry.
Hamilton Middle School. And
Gotcha.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And then during the game the other day, Johnny Manziel said, I see a little bit of him and me. What'd you think of that when he said that?
That was pretty cool. He came up to me on the sideline and just said, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I just told him I'm trying to be like him out there.
We'll go front row on the left side to Cease.
You made a lot of big plays with your wide receivers, but you also threw 6 times to Jake Johnson last week. Short passes, but are you developing a little bit of, like, is he a safety valve, or what about him and your tight ends?
I mean, he's a really good tight end. He works really hard. And I don't know, I feel like we got to give him the ball more. I mean, he goes out, makes plays. He has sure hands. He catches the ball every time I throw it to him. And just to get him more incorporated in the offense, it helped us out a lot last week.
We'll go second row on the right side to Olin.
Yeah, Conner, first of all, if you could just talk about what's everything that's different about Conner Weigman going into this Auburn game than it was to the Auburn game last year.
A whole lot. My head was spinning a lot last year trying to figure out what was going on. And I don't know, I feel like just a way better grasp of the offense and knowing what defenses are trying to do to confuse me, and just having a better grasp of pretty much on all aspects.
And I think I charted 6 passes last week was more than 20 yards. And sometimes you might have had an option, maybe a safer check down and things like that. Are you always looking to make that bigger play, or is it just the way the game develops, or is it from instruction from Coach Petrino, or what, for y'all having, looking for more big plays like that?
Coach Fisher always preaches to be aggressively intelligent, and so, I mean, if it's there, I'll take it, but if not, I'll get it down to my check down. But other than that, I mean, I don't try and do too much. I don't try and force too many balls down the field unless I know I have it. So
We'll go front row on the left side to Mark, and then Donna.
Conner, you were a middle infielder, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Can you kind of give the difference? You were talking about mechanics. What's the difference between being a shortstop and being a quarterback when it comes to mechanics and how you get rid of the ball?
I mean, at shortstop, you can sometimes, like, you can just flick the ball over to first and he'll catch it. But at quarterback, you got to be, like, really good with your feet, really good with your eyes, like, really good with your mechanics at all times. And I feel like that's where Coach Fisher comes in. He's like, sometimes I get lazy with my feet, and so I just got to really focus on stuff like that.
We'll go back behind the lights on the left side to Donna, and then wrap things up with Chip.
Conner, a few of your teammates on Saturday talked about how impressive your leadership growth has been over the last season. How do you feel like that's gone from your perspective?
I mean, I just feel like that comes with the quarterback position. I mean, you gotta be able to talk, you gotta be able to communicate, with your receivers, with your O-line, so everyone knows, so everyone's on the same page and everyone knows what's going on within every single play call. And I feel like you said, I've taken pride in that and tried to step up in that way.
And then we'll go just in front of TV Row to Chip to wrap things up.
Conner, I realize you have different packages depending on the defenses you're playing. What percentage of the offense so far would you say that you've used and that fans have seen?
I couldn't really tell you a percentage, but it's just week to week, just game plan wise, like you said, what the defense is doing, and we'll put in certain plays for that. But everything's in every week. It's just what we go out there and what's called.
All right, that's all we have. Thank you, Conner.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.